Let's discuss the window of heaven points. Do 16, Fengfu, Palace of Wind. Location on the posterior midline directly below the external occipital protuberance, in the depression between the origins of the trapezius muscle. How to find? The external occipital protuberance is a hump-shaped projection on the posterior surface of the occipital bone on the midline slightly superior to the craniocervical junction. Locate Do16 in a depression on the posterior midline that can be palpated directly inferior to the protuberance and between two origins of the trapezius muscle. Generally, Do16 is located approximately 1 tune superior to the posterior hairline. GB20 is located on the same level below the occiput in a depression between the origins of the trapezius and its sternocleidomastoid muscle. Needling 0.5 to 1 tune slightly obliquely in an inferior direction. Bend the patient's head slightly forward when needling. Caution, dangerous point with deep needling. No stimulation. Strictly no needling in a superior direction. Danger of puncturing the cerebellomedullary cistern. Also cite for suboccipital puncture. The needle should be inserted into the nuchal ligament. According to some authors, moxibustion is contraindicated. Actions, indications, dispel external wind, calms internal wind, and the Shen. Nourishes the sea of Marrow, lightens the Shen. Special features, meeting point with Yang Wei Mai, and according to some authors, the Yang Kiao Mai, sea of Marrow point, window of heaven point, Susin Miao ghost point, used for all disorders which are caused by external or internal wind and which are characterized by sudden onset, changing location, and or intensity of the disorder, involuntary movements. Do16 eliminates both exterior and interior wind. It can therefore be used for exterior attacks of wind, cold, or wind heat, as well as for patterns of interior wind, such as wind stroke, epilepsy, or severe giddiness. Its capacity in eliminating wind in general makes it a very important point to relieve headaches from liver yang rising, liver wind, liver fire, and acute headaches from exterior wind. Its action in treating headaches is also partly due to these points being a point of the eye system which emerges from the brain at Do16, Fengfu. Do16 is a point of the Sea of Marrow. Marrow fills up the brain, and this point can clear the mind and stimulate the brain. It also extinguishes interior wind in epistotonus, aphasia from windstroke, hemiplegia. Expels exterior wind in aversion to cold, fever, body aches, occipital stiffness, and headaches. Nourishes marrow and benefits the brain in headache, dizziness, tinnitus, blurred vision. It also calms the mind and opens the mind's orifices in manic behavior, desire to commit suicide, sadness, fear. Finally, Do16 is one of 10 points listed in Chapter 2 of the Spiritual Pivot that have come to be known as Window of Heaven points. It shares with the other points of this group the ability to treat headache and dizziness, descends rebellious chi in vomiting, treats throat disorders, benefits the sense organ, the eyes, nose, and tongue, and treats sudden onset of disorders in sudden inability to speak following windstroke, sudden loss of voice. Window of the sky, point of sea of Marrow, ghost point, crossing point of Dumai and Yang Wei Mai, linking vessel. This point is effective in treating the patient at the spirit level. Can clear the head and bring perspective to their life and aid in the integration of body, mind, and spirit. Helps the patient to hear and see with enhanced clarity. As a Sea of Marrow point, in combination with Do15, 19, 20, Do16 can nourish the brain and the senses. This is a window of sky point. It is suggested that the practitioner consider treating window points on the CF first before using this point to gauge its response. Wind palace is particular name of the point conveys some of the benevolence of wind, its movement and ability to refresh. It is found here in a precious place, a palace of senses where a branch of Dumai enters the brain. This is a powerful point to reawaken and stimulate the sensory organ and motivate the spirit. All window of heaven points promote the free exchange of qi in the neck, bridge area. If there is a blockage of qi in this area, the body, mind, or spirit may be affected, causing symptoms of mental disturbance, problems affecting the sense organ, or disorders of the breath and digestion resulting from rebellious qi. This point might be chosen from someone's spirit regularly becomes deeply discouraged or feels embattled by life. They cannot sustain their spirit or keep motivated on their path. This young point on the predominantly young Dumai intensifies the freeing and brightening aspect of any window of the sky. It is potent point that can illuminate and restore a sense of rooted from expanded hope for a brighter future, as well as opening the window to allow the spirit to be present with a greater sense of connection to heavenly qi. Fengfu wind palace, as well as the development relationship with the wind, this area is vulnerable to attack by wind. It is a most useful point to clear pathogenic wind, whether from an internal or external cause. Windstroke epilepsy codes, a branch of doom, stimulate the yin of the sea of Marrow and the sense organs. The alternative names, root of preoccupation and clear-headedness, indicate the possible use of this point to clear the frustrations of thoughts continually swirling about with no direction of resolution.